Okay, let's start. Let's start with talking about the second attestation. First of all, on the second attestation, we have to finish with our films. The deadline, as set by Asil and me, will be on the 26th of March. After our holidays and celebrations, you have enough time to create really good films. I hope it will be with the color correction, sound, and everything what was talked about on the previous lectures. Okay, those who don't be able to show your film on the 26th, but it should be done until 26th, you can also show your films on the 29th of March. Uh, it means on the lecture we can also watch your films and together, uh, and some of you can watch show your films on the practice and on the lectures on both days. It depends on how much time do you have on the practice, because we have a lot of peoples and a lot of films. If some of you who not be able to show your film on the practice, you can also show it on the Saturday on the lecture. Okay, this is about films. And the grades can be some uh, how it calls summarized with the second attestation. And on the second attestation, we have four tasks. On this task, you should work by yourself. Everyone from you now work by yourself. You should create a stop motion video. You should create advertisement video. You should create a travel vlog, and you should create video clip. On the lecture, I will show you examples from the previous year. I will show some suggestions how you can create, what you can use, how you can do it. Maybe we also can watch how you can edit it. We can on the lectures we can also learn how to create some motion graphics effects on these tasks. And also we have the last task on the final exam. According to the date of the exam, you should prepare your motion graphics advertisement. Today I'm going to show you basic principles of motion graphics, and also uh, uh, from the previous year's lecture you can watch about introduction to motion graphics and understand what we've done in the previous year. And today I'm going to repeat some of these steps and start another lecture about stop motion. Maybe we will cover two themes on this day. The task about motion graphics is really interesting and cost 9 points because you need to create it by yourself. You need to create the plot of this stop motion video and make this animation about stop motion. On the lecture, we will talk about how it created and watch some examples. Okay, this is the first task. The task uh, should be submitted in the Teams. Um, Later, we will add some task in Teams, and you can submit your ready work about stop motion. Okay, this is about our plan for the 10th, 11th, and maybe 13 weeks. Uh, about celebrating of the Nauris, I don't know. Will we have asynchronic formats, or we can skip this lecture? We wait information from the dean. When dean says us work or not work, we will tell you in the Telegram group about this day. Okay, let's move to our content about motion graphics. Motion graphics is a really huge and powerful field, and you can call every animation which is created on the computer, you can call it motion graphics, because everything what was created on the computer calls computer graphics. Everything what has emotion, it means you have to create animation and make it with the dynamics. It means you create motion graphics. This is a new direction, uh, especially in our country, and on the nowadays it's really developed quickly. And now you can see in the Instagram, in the TikTok, there is a lot of motion graphics that you can see. The motion graphics helps you to create really interesting content, which is catch your attention. And with the help of motion graphics, you can sell the goods, you can sell the я забыла как на английском услуги, услуги, services. You can sell services, you can sell your products, and this is a really helpful instrument to provide some creative. And also with the motion graphics, you can create some art. You can create some abstract videos with a nice and smooth animation. Uh, the main idea of the motion graphics is the motion, and it should be also good looking and catch your attention. With the help of motion graphics, you can briefly uh, uh, briefly show your idea, because we have really a lot of content and you have really less time to tell your viewer information, and that's why motion graphics help you with a quick way to receive this information and send this information to your customers, and with this with the help of motion graphics, you also can develop difficult ideas into the small pieces and understandable for the viewer. Motion graphics used in animation, in the production of advertisement, everywhere. Even with the help of motion graphics, you can make some presentations about data and visualize how data and make some reports interesting. For example, the huge companies uh, uh, spend some money to create motion graphics for their year's reports. And with the help of motion graphics, you can make it more visual and dynamic and understandable. Uh, we are going to use motion graphics in the second attestation in different ways. First of all, it will be some titles for the travel vlog. With the help of motion graphics, we can make it more eye-catching and interesting. With the help of motion graphics, we can create interesting advertisement. And on the final, you can provide your project with creation of motion graphics. I will show you some examples uh, of works from the previous year, and you can start to make your projects already, because motion graphics takes time. You should learn program, you should create your scenario for the motion graphics, and you should create this video and render this out uh, uh, until the final exam. And if you have any questions about the final project, you can ask me on the lectures, or you can ask Asiel on the practice, and you can show some examples and ask how you can create this. You can create and find reference whatever you want, and we can guide you where you can find some information about how you can create this. Every work should be unique, and you can watch some examples, some trends, some tutorials, how you can create your final project. And if you have some questions, we can solve these questions during the lectures and during the practice. And what else? About when we're talking about the fields of motion graphics, and also it can be some guidelines where you can find some reference for your motion graphic project. For example, it can be television, it can be some subtitles, opening for the film. It's also some piece of motion graphics. For example, if you watch some Marvel Studio films or some Harry Potter movie, every title's like a masterpiece and created with the help of animation and can be piece of motion graphics. The second, it's like as I say, the movie industry where you can find some motion graphics. You can create some trailer for your film, for example, and make it like your final project. Uh, it should be also with the help of animation. It can be used with a 2D or 3D graphics, maybe, and you can create the opening for your film and the end of attestation, at the end of our course. And when we talk about motion graphics, it's also in the media, on the TV. It can be opening for the news, it's opening for the YouTube channel. For example, if you want to create something useful for your future, you can use also it's on your final project. For example, if you have some podcasts, you can create some interesting motion graphics for your podcast, for example. The main rule for your final project, it should be created by yourself. If you use some tutorials, you can use it, but the content should be according to yourself. You should provide your idea, your objects inside of this motion graphics. It should be not the copy paste of the tutorial, but it should be done with the tutorial because we don't have really lot of time to create to learn about motion graphics and use all the tools. Motion graphics can be created with the help of After Effects, with the help of even CapCut. In the CapCut, you can animate some objects. You can create with the Premiere Pro, you can create 3D motion graphics with the help of Blender, Cinema 4D, uh, any program that you can you can create motion graphics. Everything what has motion can be called motion graphics. That's why we have really spread tools to create motion graphics project. That's why we can watch some examples and can be some find some reference from the internet and can find some tutorials how we can create and make it by yourself. And this is the task for your final exam. Uh, and during the lectures, we are going to start partly find where we can use this motion graphics. And first of all, we will start from the stop motion because in the stop motion, this is the origin of motion graphics of the multiplications. First movies was done, first cartoon movies was done with the help of stop motion. Do you remember the clay movies where some characters moves and you can make some photos from this character, move this character with your hands, and if you play every photo you take, you will get some animation. And this is the stop motion. And we will start with this on the second station. Okay, next, what we talk about the stop motion. motion graphics. It is have some principles which will help you to create really good work. First of all, this is a composition. Composition is everything what we can see in the frame, and with the rule of the composition, you can manipulate with the viewer's attention. And in the motion graphics, composition is also the key feature that will help you to create some masterpiece. For example, in composition in the motion graphics, it's dynamic, and with the when you move your objects inside, you also move attention on during the watching your motion graphics. And the second one is a type of typography. You can create motion graphics with the typography only. You can play with the fonts. You can create composition with some texts and animate these texts, and you will get some interesting effects with and stylish motion design. The third one is the colors. Uh, from the when we talk about the color correction, we talk about the color theory. In the motion graphics, it's also necessary to understand the color theory and put the colors in your composition according to the rule of the color theory. For example, you can use two or three colors which is complementary, which each other, and you will get the nice looking composition and nice looking eye-catching color scheme. And you can also find some colors in scheme in the internet and use them in your project. For example, colors is also really affect on the final result. Motion graphics is deeply and really closer with the design. For example, to create a really nice design, you should find some interesting references. You should learn about color theory, about typography, about composition, and these three main rules also suitable for motion design, for the motion graphics, for everything what we can see. And to provide a really nice and eye-catching result, you can you can сейчас, как сказать, тренировать свою насмотренность. Знаете, train your sense of не знаю, а? Sense of vision, yes. You can start to collect on the Behance or on the internet, on the YouTube collection about motion graphics. And when you train your sense of view, you can understand and make it by yourself by watching some different references. And you can also combine some different references all together and get your unique result. For example, every idea comes from the training your eye. And you also, during the second attestation, you can start to collect your reference folder for the motion graphics and find some tutorials and start to create your own motion graphic project. If you start from now until the end of our course, you will get really good result and you will get the maximum points on the final exam. Okay, about the soft that can be used, you can use every soft you want. You can start with After Effects, you can use Premiere Pro, Nuke, Autodesk Combustion, I don't know this one. You can use even CapCut. For example, from the previous years, students create some animation with the help of the CapCut. This is also useful for motion graphics. This is just instrument. The idea should be from your side, from your creative, and it's some objects should be moved. And there is the main. I will share with you with this lecture, and you can also find. Uh, and the idea comes from also can be comes from training your view from the internet. You can find some different references and create what you want. The main field where you can find some even you can animate your CV, for example. You can create presentation about yourself and animate this one. And it will be some motion graphics presentation from your CV. It's also can be found from the internet. Or it can be some abstract and animatable object. You can do if you really love some abstract art, you can animate this art and make get it more motion. Okay, let's see some examples of motion graphics. We can watch some trends and you will understand what you can do by yourself. Uh, and what about idea, the motion graphics? You can create the animation, for example, for the site. Uh, for example, some of the sites have first block with the background, it's animated. It's also made with the help of motion graphics. And you can create some advertisement with motion graphics. This made with After Effects, and this is really how it calls. You can do it with a simple animation of the shapes, and you can find, for example, illustrations from the internet. For example, in the free pick, with the help of Adobe Illustrator, you can export this illustration with the layers into the After Effects and animate every layer and the key feature of motion graphics is motion itself. You can find good soundtrack and make animation according to this soundtrack and make motion suitable with the music. And it's also an idea how you can create this motion graphics. The second one is with the help of 3D. If you similar with the 3D programs, you can make animation in the Maya or in the Blender or in the Cinema 4D and render this out. And also you can make some abstract movement or make some animation of products. Where is the music? Those who work on the VFX now, you can make one project for the VFX and for example, for the filmmaking. On the VFX, we learn how to make some cloth simulation, water simulation, and with this simulation, you can create interesting motion graphic effects. And those who both on the VFX and on the filmmaking, you can make one project. For example, this made with the particles and with the physics. And the idea is about the good lighting, good colors, and nice motion. And also this effect, it's about shutter. We will learn on the VFX on the second attestation how to shutter objects. And I think this motion graphics is really wide uh, and possible to create. About the length, it can be only 30 seconds, for example, because we don't have really much time to provide long animation. You can start with the 30 seconds long length, but if you have more time, you can spend it until 1 minute. Uh, but 30 seconds will be enough. Here we can see there is only fonts, and this fonts is dynamic, and it also gets some interest in this content. And with the help of motion graphics, you can create some presentations, you can animate this presentation, you can animate some characters, and this is also interesting. The motion is simple. It's just move, scale, and rotate something. But you, in the animation, you should also think about speed and position of this object. For example, there is uh, 12 principles of animation that can be used in the motion graphics too. We will learn about it. Let's watch some principles of animation. Uh, the main principles of this of the animation is ace in and ace out. For example, now you can see some of objects move start moves faster, but in the end it slows down. It means they use principle of ace in ace and ace out. If you add some small details on your animation, it will be more natural and more smooth and looks great. This is the motion is simple, but it's used 12 principles of animations, and that's why it's look harmonical and nice. And here you can see this text appears and just a little movement at the end. And if you add these small pieces, for example, like it stops and with inertia comes back, This is really a small piece, but when you watch entire animation, it looks more natural and nice and more eye-catching. This is no linear animation. And in the After Effects, there are some tools that can be created with one click, for example, for the ease in and ease out. But this motion, when it appears and just a little bit shaky, you can do it by yourself with the help of animation. For example, uh, every animation, we have timeline, we have object, and we have position of this object. And with the help of the keys on the timeline, you can manipulate with this object, and you can make keys of this object and movement during the timeline of the frames. For example, uh, if you have one object and this object should be appears here, you can make some 1 second to speed to reach this object from one position to the second position, or you can use 2 seconds. For example, if you use 2 seconds, it's more slow. And if you use 1 second and maybe 24 frames only for this motion, it should be fast. And with the help of manipulation with this time, you can achieve this nice and smooth result in the end. Animation, uh, it's like an art. It's like about practice. You can create your first animation. It can be more linear and rough and rude. But if you practice more, you will understand this sense of animation and sense of this motion, and you can see uh, if you see these motion graphics, you should think about how they use the position of this object and about the timing. And you can break down this timing, and you will understand how you can create these simple motions more appeal. For example, you can create, for example, scale, just linear movement. If you add some squash and stretch at the end, it will be more cartoonish. If you make it faster, for example, according to your soundtrack, it can be more dynamic. If you add some slow animation, you should put some slow music around this animation. And this is uh, everything about practice and about seeing more references and understanding how they can create this animation. But the tools is really simple. You only just need background, object, and timeline and keys. For example, keys, it means you save the position of the object according to the timeline and the frame selected. And during the timeline, you can create a lot of keys of this animation. And also, for more understandable, you can start with After Effects. After Effects is really simple. Maybe there is a lot of tutorials how you can create. You can animate your apps. For example, if you work as a UX UI designer, you can use your apps and create some, for example, uh, design for your apps and also submit as a project. Inside of the apps, we also have some motions. Maybe we can start now and show some example with these simple shapes. Okay, while it's opening, let's summarize. We have uh, a lot of softs that can be useful for the animation and for the motion graphics. You can choose according to your uh, experience. If we talk about 2D animations, you can choose After Effects, Premiere Pro, or CapCut. And if we talk about 3D, you can choose some Blender, Maya, Cinema 4D. You want to think about the content, what it should be in your motion graphics, what objects can be. It can be just text, it can be just some simple shapes, and you should think about the scenario of this motion. You should think about the soundtrack for this short animation, and according to the sound, according to the scenario of this motion, you can create some simple animation and make it. While it's opening, I will also share with you some 12 principles of animation. The 12 principles of animation is everything when we talk about animation. It can be character animation, it can be motion graphic animation, it can be used everywhere, even in application. For example, when you open your smartphone, everything what is moves use these principles, some of these principles. Okay, just stop. You can watch it later. And um, let's open After Effects. And here we have some interface. In the After Effects, we have our composition. We have here some timeline and layers. And inside of this project is components that we used in this animation or in the project. First of all, we need to create a new composition. Composition has some width and height. We will use by the default HD format about the video, and we will use duration about 30 seconds. It's also by the default. We have this frame, and we can compose this frame and put inside this frame everything what we want. We can find some references, and according to the references, build composition into our frame. Let's create the simple layers. First of all, we can create um, we can change the color of the composition. In the composition settings, we have this background color. Maybe we can put some blue one. Uh, Inside of the composition, we can create some shapes. In the shape, we can draw these shapes. We can have these tools above where we have rectangle, we have pen tool, we have some different shapes. I'm not remembering everything in this, but let's start with the rectangle, and we can maybe make this rectangle animatable. Inside of the rectangle, we have a lot of parameters. We have stroke, we have fill, and we in the shape we can add some new we have trim pass. I forgot where is it. Here in the content we have add, and we can add some trim pass. In the trim pass we have start and end, and we can draw this line and we can animate this line. Uh, the main idea that I want to talk about the motion graphics, this is a timeline and in the our objects. And we have some keyframes inside of any program. For example, in the After Effects, it looks like stopwatch. When we put some keyframes, for example, on the 20 frames from the start and from the end, we put the keyframes. It means we remember position of this object on the 20th second. If we put this, our, how it calls, current position on the timeline, at the beginning, we can change, for example, this line. And we can put this keyframe. It was recorded. And now we have animation. This is our first animation. And according to the speed, we can change it. We can move these keyframes and make it faster. We can change this to the ease in and ease out, easy ease. And this motion becomes more interesting. For example, now you can feel this is not linear, this is fast at the beginning and slow at the end. And it means ease in and ease out. Ease in and ease out comes up us from 12 principles of animation. 12 principles of animation first developed from the Disney. Disney, it's our first cartoon movies that was created in our world. First movies, first cartoons was drawn frame by frame, and animation becomes these frames draws every single frame and uh, how it, change really fast. And when frames change really fast, you will get animation. For example, я забыла, как она называется. Анимация на блокноте. For example, this is a really first movement and motion. This is our frames, and we change something during the frames. It's called flipbook. And it's also about stop motion. He took many photos from this, and with the help of the After Effects or Premiere Pro, combine them into the video and get this result. And here we have frames, and during the frames we can animate, and we have these keyframes. But in the uh, After Effects and any 3D programs, we don't need to draw every frame. We can make a position at the beginning, at position at the end, and in betweens, the program calculates it by themselves. And according to uh, the numbers frames between them, you can manipulate with the speed, for example. The less frames we have, the more fast we have. And after that, we can also move these positions. Here we have some transforms, and we have some keys on the positions. And in the CapCut, there is also possible to make some keyframes on the objects. And there is also timeline, and that's why in the CapCut you can also create interesting motion graphics. And here we have some really rough animation. And here we also can change an ease in and ease out. The more interesting movement you will create, the more interesting motion graphics you will get at the end. But when you plan your motion graphics, you should think about movement. You also can create some scenario for your movement. You need to understand how many objects will be inside, what will be the content, the idea, uh, and you also can start with the idea and start your animation. Start making your final project. This is a really rough overview about the animation and what you can create with the simple frames of position, scale, some companions animations, and uh, others depends on your creativity, for example, and about your references, about your uh, training your eye on the motion graphics. And you can start to describe every motion graphics from the YouTube and understand how they move this, how motion was created. And you can able to provide something like this, or you make it more simple and or more interesting, and according to some tutorials you can watch some tutorials. First you should choose for example concept, overall idea, what it be, 2D or 3D, and the second you should find some software or some tutorials about the software and how it was created. You can find some reference on this tutorial, and you can try to repeat this tutorial with your objects inside, with your composition. And this is really rough idea about your final motion graphics. The second, some of you create cartoons, like if instead of shooting some films, they created cartoons. Cartoons is also about the animation. That's why cartoons cost first attestation with the film and the final project together. And those who made cartoons should show us final result. This ready cartoon from your idea from the first attestation, and it should be also finished, rendered, and with the sound, with the good sound, with the good color according to our previous lectures, and also edited in the final cartoons. Uh, and what else we have? Now we can move into the stop motion. I think about motion graphics, we can watch some another ideas. For example, Every year we have some trends about motion graphics. For example, this previous 2D motions was trends in 222, for example. In the previous year, we have trends about combination real-time movie with 3D objects inside. There is a lot of uh, examples in the internet. For example, like augmented reality. For example, from the how last year we have trend on some combination of the real shooting and this motion graphics. And I think this trend is also suitable for now, and it can be created with a blender. And here is some simple tracking, adding some objects. This banner was made with the help of cloth simulation and with the combination the real video and the shooted created in the 3D rendered out with the After Effects or Premiere Pro or in the CapCut, you can combine them together and at the end gets this result. The realism achieves with the good tracking and with the good lighting inside of the 3D scene. And it was rendered with a transparent background and combined together with the footage. And there is the same camera position and same camera movement. It achieves with the some tracking from the After Effects or from the blender. When you track camera from the real world and put this camera into the 3D world, and you can recreate the size of the object and fit everything together. And on the VFX, we will learn how to do it on the tornado effect. In the tornado effect, we will also achieve this result. Some of you who also learn VFX can create the same uh, for the final for the VFX and for the filmmaking also as in motion graphics. And this is also example what you can create in by using some 3D and by our video. What else? And also let's watch some trends about 25 here. I think this is all about some typography and it's more about talking. Let's see, maybe. But I think this is not a trend. Where is trend? And also in After Effects, it's possible to work with the 3D. You can create simple 3D objects inside After Effects, and there is some 3D camera. It's almost like but it works with the simple shapes. Okay, I will send you this tutorial and you can also watch this teaser, what can be done with After Effects. About the programs, I can share with you my, how it calls, my soft. You can use trial versions, for example, for creating this, or you can use some crack. I don't know. It depends on you. You can use After Effects or you can use free CapCut. It's almost uh, the same, not entire the same, but also useful. Uh, and here you can find some After Effects, but it is crack version. And what else we can find? We can find some motion graphics in CapCut. Oh, here's some tutorials. And here's some tutorials. You can also find it by yourself if you want. But the idea is you should learn how to make some composition of this motion graphics and how to animate these objects. and you should spend much time on the animation. It should be nice and smooth as in references, and that's why you can start making your final project already, or instead at least find some references and find some tutorials what you are planning to do on your final exam. Okay, I think we've done with motion graphics. We'll watch a lot of examples. You can uh, watch this lecture again, and you can find some tutorials in the internet. Uh, and let's move to our stop motion.